you need to address the elephant in the room. You are a capable woman that's inconsistent, not because you lack motivation, but because you have a standards leak. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to share some ways on how we can fix that leak, increase your standards so that you can keep walking in the direction of your dreams and getting more fulfillment in the now, transforming your life, mastering your mind, all of the good that leads to you living rich on purpose. Hello, my name is Espivy J. Let's get started. Let's keep going. You're not incapable. You are distracted. You tolerate checking your phone mid-task. You're right there smack in the middle of something you've been meaning to do, something that's required for you to do, in fact, and then you check your phone, you check your notifications. You check everything like it's a priority. You continue pushing back your start date. For whatever it is you're after, you keep pushing your start date. You keep pushing your start date of when you're going to start your workout routine, when you're going to start your new project, when you're going to finally, actually do what you put on that vision board for the 6th year in a row and stop talking about it. You keep pushing that start date back. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the upgraded version of you? This is another way you've been tolerating distractions. And let me know, does this feel familiar to you? You've been planning something beautifully. You got it all planned out, but you haven't executed on not one of the steps. Not now, none steps have been executed on. But you have a beautiful plan, PowerPoint, presentation, Canva template, thought process, beautiful conversations, but you haven't executed on anything to make it go from an idea on a napkin to real life. Which is likely because you are delaying the next step until you feel ready. Delaying the next step until you feel ready is another thing that you've been tolerating. And when I say tolerating, I mean you've been holding it as an allowable excuse. Feel ready. Your feelings don't care, baby. I want to go eat a double doozy from a Great American Cookies. That's what I feel like eating. I can't do that on a weight loss journey, but that's why I feel like it. Stop tolerating your feelings and delaying the next steps for you to take action. And another thing you've been tolerating is not being responsive to the things that's going to move you forward in life. This is personal, professional, whatever, interpersonal. For example, baby, you have a phone full of text messages that you should be responding to. Why? Are you really that busy? No, seriously, are you really that busy? No, you're not. You're not that busy that you can't acknowledge, at least. But the benefits of closing out conversations or finalizing details are immense. It's the same concept as decluttering. When you declutter physical space, it frees the load. The mental load, your emotional load, the space is clear. But you've been tolerating that, which lets me know that you have been negotiating with your own standard. And this has nothing to do with discipline. And every time you negotiate, the standard loops. And to be honest, it loops downward because all we have is the present moment. And you keep wasting your present moment by tolerating low standards. And I'm gonna be fully transparent like I always try to be here on my channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Baby, I wasted 2.5 hours of free, kid-free, no distraction time. And then I did the thing that I needed to do and was done in 25 minutes. 25 minutes without rushing. What? So that's why I'm making this video, because I'm trying to figure out, like, what was the issue? Was it capacity? No, it wasn't capacity. It was tolerance. I was allowing those things, and just to be completely transparent, baby, I was scrolling. And I was allowing the things that I was searching for on Instagram and Threads to be priorities. Okay, they were not priorities, they were distractions. I was tolerating that distraction to keep me away from doing something that really took me 25 minutes. And although I was learning, that wasn't my learning block. That time slot was set aside for me. That time slot was set aside for me to focus and get things done. So that's inspired today's video, because I am calling myself out, and I know this resonates with others. But what's important and what I've been learning is to observe myself non-judgmentally. And the reason I've been doing that, one, is very beneficial. I've done it for a long time. But having videos due every single day, having 10,000 steps due every single day, and the other commitments that I have, I just started tracking my calories, and having something that is due every single day brings so many truths and realizations up to the front, and you have to address them if you want to improve. And I know if you're watching this video this far, you are definitely interested in transforming your life, because ain't nothing worse than being a cop out to your own dream when we have every piece of knowledge and wisdom that there is to get exactly what we want out of this life. Not the next one, this life. Right now, not tomorrow, this life. So this is requiring me to put mirrors. Mirrors are just all around. I can't avoid truth. Okay? So I've been tolerating distractions, and I'm sure if you're a high impact woman who's inconsistent, you have been as well. But we need to fix that. But first, you need to keep it real with yourself. If you don't keep it real with yourself, that's why I think first off, journal. Every single day you need to journal. Journal before the world gets a hold of your thoughts. Journal before you open up a social media app, before you go to work, and before you go to bed. Write stuff down, pen to paper. I know journaling on these cute apps, they're cute, but pen to paper. And if you're my age, writing in cursive, it just flows better. And if you're younger and they didn't teach you cursive, learn it. So how did I get from wasting almost 3 freaking hours to getting done what I need to get done in 25 minutes? I observed myself and I was like, wait, you're being trifling. You're being a hypocrite. First things first, as always, call it out. Call it out. Pause. Call it out. Always first, call it out. And then I was like, okay, silence my phone, silence my iPad, silence anything that can have access to me, and moved it out of the way. So I literally couldn't see it. They were moved out the way and flipped over. So if it lit up, I wouldn't know. Remove the distractions. If the distraction was a person, they either have to go or you got to go. Go somewhere where you can work. Go somewhere where you can focus. You have to change the environment. And although that sounds simple, it I know that's going to impact me going forward, because I'm working on procrastination. I'm working on managing my time wisely. I'm not working on procrastination, baby. I'm leaving procrastination. Let me straighten that out. I'm working towards building the skill of time management. And that's the second part of procrastination was first. Now distractions. What am I tolerating? So I removed the leak. Remove the leak. That's how I removed the leak. Finish fast. And then guess what happened next? Momentum. And I went to the next thing and the next thing. And in the same, what I, excuse me, the 2.5 hours that I wasted, I can't even tell you what I was quote unquote learning, scrolling. But in the 2.5 hours that I was focused from getting the momentum from finishing the first task that took 25 minutes, I knocked out probably like 6 tasks. Momentum. Why? You have to get that first win. I keep talking about small wins. You have to get that first win and then acknowledge it, feel good about it, and keep moving. I didn't allow myself to go back to the distraction. It I probably like, no. I am increasing my standards. When I removed the leak, the momentum began. When I went straight into the next task, because of that small win, guess what that did? It created energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it took my potential energy into kinetic energy, and then it compounded. That's what it did. So I was putting my energy towards my unconscious awareness. I was unconsciously aware when I was distracted. And then when I recognized what I was doing and I got focused, I was aware and conscious, and then my energy went from that to this. What was I doing? Was it a bad thing in this world? Absolutely not. But it definitely doesn't work in my goals. And if you feel that way, if you've had that experience Execution creates energy, point blank, period. Not the other way around. Execution creates energy. I need you to get moved. Execution creates energy. Get your small wins, and it's going to snowball the compound effect. But, baby, you got to get out your own way. You got to stop tolerating little living. Stop tolerating little living. That's my point I'm trying to make. I was tolerating little living. And you find out in the small occurrences in your life. That's when you can start recognizing and acknowledging the truth. You realize them in the small occurrences, the small things. It may seem small, but if there are 24 hours in a day and you wasted 2.5 of them doing something that does not contribute to your momentum in going in the direction of your dream life, then those 2.5 hours are big. Those 2.5 hours are big for me. All right. Did the world end? No. But just acknowledging it and then doing something about it. You can only do that when you raise your standards. You can only do that, I'm telling you, doing these videos every single day. Having something due every single day where what I did the day before doesn't improve, affect, or whatever the word is the next day, and I basically have to start over is what I'm trying to say. Woo! That's the self-reflection. That's the trauma healing. That's the growth that I'm after. Yes, of course, I have external goals. I want to grow this channel. I want to grow this community. I want to grow my businesses. Absolutely. Don't get it twisted. I want to do all. But the internal growth you get from doing this external work is crazy. It's amazing. I feel so blessed because a lot of these things I would have ignored, especially procrastination, especially tolerating distractions. My standards, low. There was a leak. If I didn't have these challenges going, and these things due every single day, would I have addressed them? I would have probably acknowledged them, like, I'm so tired of myself. But would I have addressed them? Absolutely not. So hopefully this is helpful to someone that's watching. And that goes to say that the resentment you feel, it's not about your life. It's more so about like knowing you're operating below your standards. And so the solution is simple. You don't need more motivation. You just need to stop negotiating. Your time is valuable, extremely valuable. Every second, every minute, every all right, all of it's valuable. So what I want you to do is raise the standard, remove the leak, then watch how capable you actually are. All right, this is not a 10-step process. Raise your standard, remove the leak, and watch how powerful you actually are. You're going to move mountains. You're going to grow in ways that are probably going to make you extremely uncomfortable because it's new. Anything new is going to be uncomfortable anyways. So be prepared to be uncomfortable doing something. Sometimes those leaks are mental, right? Most of the time the leaks are mental. You're sabotaging yourself because of your thoughts. Your awareness is on all of the bad. Your awareness is on all of the lack. Your awareness is likely on something that hasn't happened that you are projecting into the future, worrying. And so we excuse ourselves. We have to know, you do not need to know the latest news story. If it's not the weather or something in your neighborhood or, your family, like for the most part, most of it is just a distraction. It's noise. Okay. Noisy distractions. I'm not saying live obliviously in the woods. I'm just saying acknowledge the leaks, remove the distractions, raise your standard. All right. And then you'll see how powerful you are. And I'm going to say this all the time. Do a challenge. Do a long challenge. Do a challenge for a longer period of time, not your 7, 10, 30-day challenges. The 100-day challenge. Yes, I created a habit architecture system. It's going to work because it's going to embed into you something consistently long enough so that you can't deny it. First and foremost, you won't be able to deny its impact on your life. because 100 days is a little less than a third of the year. And you can get a lot done in 100 days. But if you focus on one thing, getting it done every single day, the growth, and then you add another and another one and another one, strategically, it's going to look like an overnight success. But if things go wrong, when things go wrong, if something changes, if you're not in your comfort zone, you will have done whatever that is for a long enough period of time so it can't sway you. Because you're committed, you're devoted, you're committed. And that's why the challenge works. All right, so I challenge you to just observe, pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to when you are distracted. No, pay attention to when you are tolerating. Pay attention to when you are tolerating distractions. Because you're going to always be distracted. But how long are you tolerating them? Where you're like, all right, let me get to it after 5 minutes. Cool. Great discipline. You got yourself back on track. Or are you letting hours of your day get away? You are a high impact woman. The world needs exactly what you have. And if you're interested in living rich on purpose, I'm talking about mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, make sure you subscribe, because on my channel, I like to talk about transformation, mindset mastery, and getting more fulfillment out of your life. All right. And I know that's what you want. My name is Spivey J. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.
You're beautiful. I hope you know that. I hope you know that.
I didn't do my. Oh my God. All right. I didn't do anything to my face. It's crazy. How did I forget? Okay.